I found the shoebox on our anniversary. Inside were 5 names, 5 dates, 5 Polaroids, and a paternity test I never ordered. She knew all along. 28 years. That's how long I'd been married to Rebecca. 28 years of I love yous at breakfast, of holding hands at Emma's school plays, of believing I knew the woman sleeping in my bed. The attic was supposed to be simple. Find the Christmas decorations. That's it. But the box was shoved behind them. Cardboard soft with age, corners reinforced with yellowed tape. It smelled like basement mildew and secret deodorant from 1997, our anniversary gift box from that year, the one I'd wrapped her perfume in. I opened it. 5 Polaroid photographs, white borders, dates written on the back in her handwriting, ballpoint pressed so hard it indented through to the other side. Each man's face overexposed from the flash, like ghosts caught mid-laugh, but I could see them clearly enough. Mark, September 95, Derek, October 95, Tom, November 95, Brian, January 96, Kyle, February 96, 5 men, 6 months. Below the photos, a piece of paper, lab requisition form, Gene DX paternity testing, March 1996, her signature at the bottom, and Emma's birth date, November 1996. She'd tested our daughter before I even knew to question. 3 in the morning. Rebecca's breathing is steady 10 feet away. That soft whistle she makes through her nose when she's deep asleep. I'm in the home office with the door closed, desk lamp on low, the shoebox contents spread across the desk like evidence at a crime scene. Because that's what this is, a crime scene. I found her old planner. The basement has everything. We never throw anything away. Tax documents, old phone bills, and there it is, her 1995-96 day planner, the kind with a flower on the cover that women bought at Hallmark. I flip through September. Mark's name appears 3 times, different handwriting than the grocery lists and dentist appointments, smaller, tucked in corners. M, lunch. M, 7 p.m. Just the letter, like code. October. Derek, same pattern. The bank statements I saved for tax purposes tell another story. Cash withdrawals, ATM receipts from parts of town we never went to. $50 here, $75 there, always on the same dates as the photo timestamps. I pull up our old landline bills. We kept them, everything in boxes because you never know when the IRS might come calling. 3 of the numbers from her planner still exist in our records. I dial the first one on my cell, hand shaking. It rings. A man answers. Hello? I hang up. Second number, voicemail. You've reached Derek Morrison. Leave a message. Different last name now. Same voice I'd heard at our wedding, making a toast. He'd called himself Rebecca's old friend from college. Third number. This is Brian Kowalski. I end the call. 3 of the numbers still existed, still rang, still had the same voices on voicemail saying different last names now. Attorney Margaret Walsh's office smells like leather and old books. She's late 50s, gray suit, reading glasses on a chain, the kind of lawyer who's seen worse than me and doesn't waste time on sympathy. Virginia is a no-fault state, she says, sliding my paperwork back across her desk. Infidelity doesn't impact property division. Even with proof? Even with video evidence and signed confessions? She folds her hands. But there are other angles. She recommends a voice recorder, small enough to hide in a shirt pocket. Get her to confirm it. Date, details, admission of paternity fraud. Virginia law doesn't care about adultery, but fraud is different. I open a new bank account that afternoon. Transfer half of our savings. My legal right, she says. Document everything. Joint accounts, retirement funds, the house deed. I make an inventory list. 28 years of shared assets, itemized like a warehouse manifest. Margaret slides a pamphlet across her desk before I leave. Protecting your rights in paternity fraud cases. The word fraud makes it real. Friday night. Emma's visiting from Richmond, home from her teaching job for the weekend. 27 years old, my daughter, the girl I taught to ride a bike, walked down the aisle at her college graduation, helped move into her first apartment. She's setting the table while Rebecca makes her famous pot roast, the same meal we've had every Friday for years. The smell of rosemary and garlic fills the kitchen. Normal. Everything looks normal. The voice recorder is in my shirt pocket. Red LED blinking every 3 seconds under the fabric. I tested it twice. Battery life, 6 hours. Dad, you okay? Emma's looking at me. You've been quiet. Just tired. I smile. I've been practicing that smile for 3 days. Long week. Rebecca comes to the table with the roast, third glass of wine in her hand. She always drinks more when she's nervous. I've been watching her patterns for 28 years. Thought I knew them all. So, what have you been up to, honey? Rebecca asks Emma, but her eyes flick to me. Just for a second. Your father said you were helping with the house, clean out. Just the attic, I say, looking at old memories. Rebecca's hand freezes mid-reach for the bread basket. Find anything interesting? Her voice is light, but her knuckles are white on the wine glass. Boxes, I say. Old tax returns, photos from when Emma was little. Emma laughs. Remember my birthday parties? Dad always went overboard with the cake. Your father's good at that, Rebecca says, going overboard. The recorder is warm against my chest. I think about the Polaroids upstairs in my office drawer, about the names, about the question I've been asking myself for 72 hours straight. How do you destroy someone who destroyed you without becoming the monster? Emma reaches for the bread. Rebecca's hand is trembling. I take a bite of pot roast. Chew, swallow. Not angry, not hurt, just documenting. Sunday morning, Emma left yesterday. Rebecca is at her book club, or so she says. I don't believe anything anymore. I put the shoebox on the kitchen table. Next to it, the voice recorder. Between them, her diary from 1996. I found it in the basement, stuffed behind old paint cans. Purple leather cover with a broken lock. I read it last night, every page. Mark makes me feel young again, like I matter. Derek says I deserve better than a boring accountant. Tom took me to the Hilton, charged it to his business account. I felt like someone's mistress. I liked it. The door opens. Rebecca. Grocery bags in both hands. She sees the table. Sees me. The bags hit the floor. Oranges roll across the tile. Where did you... Her voice breaks. I press record. The LED blinks red. Sit down, Rebecca. She doesn't move. How long have you known? Does it matter? I keep my voice flat. The attorney coached me on this. No emotion. Let her fill the silence. I found the box, the photos, your test results from 1996. Her face goes white. Not surprise. Confirmation. She knew this day was coming. Maybe she's been waiting for it for 28 years. It wasn't... She sits, hands folded on the table like a schoolgirl called to the principal's office. It was a long time ago. 29 years. You got pregnant during the affairs. It was just physical. She says it like that makes it better. Like physical betrayal with 5 men doesn't count. It didn't mean anything. Which one? I ask. Silence. 19 seconds. I count them. Does it matter? She finally says. The recorder captures every word, every pause. I think about Margaret Walsh listening to this later, entering it into evidence. I think about a judge hearing my wife dismiss 28 years with, does it matter? You tested Emma, I say. March 1996, before she was born. I needed to know. You knew she might not be mine, and you married me anyway. Rebecca's hands are shaking. She reaches for my arm. I pull away. You were going to be a better father than any of them. Past tense, like I'd stopped being Emma's dad the moment I knew. You already loved her. I could see it. The way you talked about names, painted the nursery. Those men... She waves her hand. They didn't want a baby. They wanted fun. You wanted a family. So you let me raise another man's child. She's your child, Rebecca says. You were there for every fever, every school play, every tear. Biology is all that matters when you're lying about it. I turn off the recorder. She watches the red light go dark like a death. I have what I need, her voice, her words, her admission that it was 5 men, that she tested Emma, that she chose to deceive me for 28 years, not 6 months. I want a divorce, I say. She starts crying. I don't. The DNA test results arrive Wednesday. I paid for expedited processing. GeneDx, same company she used in 1996. The envelope is thin, clinical, like a bill. I open it in my car in the parking lot. Can't go home. Can't face the house where I raised a daughter who might not be mine. The paper is white, professional, single-spaced typing. Testing date, November 10th, 2024. Alleged father, my name. Child, Emma Catherine, last name. Probability of paternity, 0.0%, 3 zeros. Decimal point, 1 more 0. Scientific certainty of absence. I flip to the second page. Rebecca's test, the one from 1996 that she hid in the shoebox, same format, same result, same 3 zeros. She's known for 28 years. Every birthday cake, every father-daughter dance, every time Emma called me dad, Rebecca knew it was a lie. I drive home. Rebecca's car is in the driveway. I walk past her up to my office. She follows. We need to talk, she says. I hand her both test results. She looks at them, doesn't read them. She already knows what they say. This doesn't change anything. It changes everything. You're still her father, Rebecca says. The test says I've been paying for another man's child for 27 years, that I've been living a lie you created. My voice is still calm. I don't know how I'm doing this. You knew before she was born. You looked at that result and you decided to trap me. I didn't trap you. I gave Emma the father she deserved. You mean the father stupid enough not to question, the one you could control. Rebecca's crying now, real tears. I used to care when she cried, used to rush to fix whatever was wrong. Now I just see the actress, the woman who lied every single day for 28 years. What are you going to do? She asks. Tell Emma, I say, before she hears it from someone else. She'll hate you. No, I say. She'll hate the person who made this necessary. Rebecca leaves the room. I hear her bedroom door close. We haven't shared a bed since I found the box. She hasn't asked why. I look at the test results again. Emma's baby hospital bracelet is clipped to the 1996 results, pink with her footprints. Rebecca kept it with the evidence of her betrayal. She knew all along. Coffee shop, neutral ground. I told Emma I needed to talk. She drove up from Richmond, took a half day from teaching. She's wearing her blue cardigan, the one I bought her for Christmas last year. She looks like my daughter, acts like my daughter, calls me dad. The manila envelope sits between us on the table. 2 DNA test results inside. I brought something else too. Emma's drawing from first grade. Best dad ever, in purple crayon, pink hearts around the border. The E in ever is backwards. I had it laminated years ago. Carry it in my briefcase. Dad, you're scaring me. Emma's hands are wrapped around her latte. Is it cancer? Is Mom okay? Your mother is fine. I slide the envelope across. I need you to read these. She opens it, pulls out the papers. I watch her face, watch her eyes scan the words, watch her forehead crease as she processes. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. Emma reads for 40 seconds. I count them, like I counted the silence with Rebecca. Then she looks up. So you're not my dad? 4 words. They land like bullets. I'm the only dad you've ever had, I say. Biology doesn't change 27 years. But you're not. Her voice cracks. You're not my actual father. I'm the father who stayed up with you when you had nightmares, who taught you to drive, who paid for your college. I push the laminated drawing toward her. I'm the dad you chose to draw when you were 6 years old. Emma stares at the drawing, at her own handwriting, at the backwards E. Does Mom know? She asks. She's known since before you were born. She tested you in 1996. Emma's face changes, not sadness now, anger. She knew? There were 5 men, I say. 5 affairs while we were engaged. She didn't know which one. I can't finish. My throat closes. Emma stands up. Chair scrapes against the floor. People look over. She grabs her purse. Emma, I need to think. She's crying now. I can't. She walks out, doesn't look back. The door chimes as she leaves. I sit there for 10 minutes, staring at the purple crayon drawing, at the pink hearts, at the proof that I was someone's dad before biology said I didn't have to be. If you've ever had to tell your child their whole life was built on a lie, that the person they trusted most kept secrets that would break them, you know what this feels like. You know how it sits in your chest like broken glass. If you've been there, just type verified below. You're not alone. I call the first number from the planner, Mark. His voicemail clicks on. This is Mark Richardson. I don't leave a message. I text instead. This is Emma's father. We need to talk. He calls back in 3 minutes. Who is this? Emma Catherine, born November 1996. You knew her mother. Silence on the line. Then, Rebecca? Yes. Jesus. A car door slams in the background. Look, that was almost 30 years ago. I'm married now. I have kids. So did I say. Except mine might be yours. What? DNA test. I'm not Emma's biological father. Rebecca had 5 affairs in 1995 and 1996. You were one of them. More silence. She told me it was just fun, that you two were having problems. We were engaged. My voice is ice. She was wearing my ring when she slept with you. Mark makes a sound like he's been punched. I didn't know. I swear I didn't. Are you willing to take a paternity test? He stops. Do I have a choice? You always had a choice. I say, now you get to live with it. I call Derek next. He answers on the first ring. Hello? Derek Morrison? Yeah? This is regarding Rebecca and Emma from 1996. The line goes dead. He hangs up. I text, DNA test required. Attorney will contact you. 10 minutes later, his wife calls me. I don't know who you are, but Derek wants nothing to do with this. Don't call again. 3 down. Tom answers, retired by the sound of his voice. Slow, careful. Tom, this is about Rebecca. You knew her in 1995. I remember Rebecca. No shame in his voice, just facts. What about her? She got pregnant November 1996. Might be yours. Tom laughs, actually laughs. Can't be mine. I got a vasectomy in 1994. My hand tightens on the phone. You're certain? Had it done after my second divorce. Best decision I ever made. He sounds proud. Sorry, buddy, but that kid's not mine. He wasn't Emma's father either. That left 2, or maybe none. Brian doesn't answer. Voicemail. I leave a message. He doesn't call back. Kyle is last. I save him because his text is already in my phone. From earlier today, while I was sitting in the coffee shop watching Emma walk away. I always wondered. Counted the months. Never had the balls to ask. I call him. It's you, isn't it? Kyle says without hello. The father, the guy she married. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. That's what we're trying to figure out. I'll take the test, Kyle says immediately. I'll do whatever you need. If Emma's mine, if I have a daughter, his voice breaks. I want to know. She doesn't want to know you, I say. It comes out harsher than I mean. She has a father. I'm not trying to replace you, Kyle says quietly, but if she's mine, she deserves to know her medical history, family history. I'm not a bad guy. I made a mistake 30 years ago. A mistake that destroyed my family. I know. He sounds genuine, broken even. I'm sorry. I hang up. 5 phone calls, 5 men. One might be Emma's biological father. The other's just ghosts in Rebecca's past. But they're real now. Real people with real lives that my wife touched and discarded like the Polaroids in the shoebox. Margaret Walsh calls in a forensic accountant. His name is Robert Chen, looks like he's about 40, carries a briefcase full of spreadsheets and a laptop that's seen better days. Your wife is good, Robert says, spreading documents across Margaret's conference table. Very good, but everyone makes patterns. He shows me 28 years of bank statements, highlighted sections like a treasure map. See here, every month, cash withdrawals above your normal spending. Started in 1997, right after Emma was born, never stopped. How much? Conservative estimate, $47,000 over the years. He pulls out another spreadsheet. It's the grocery money that's clever. She always took cash for groceries, but groceries don't cost this much. She was skimming. Margaret hands me a key, small, brass. We found this taped under her bathroom drawer during discovery. What is it? Safety deposit box, Bank of Virginia, downtown branch. It's in both your names. You had the legal right to access it. I went that afternoon. The box is small, metal, cold. Inside, cash. Neat stacks with bank bands, rubber brittle with age. Some bills from 1998, sequential numbers. She'd been cashing checks and hiding money since Emma was 2 years old. $47,000. My money, our money hidden. The money isn't the worst part, Robert says when I bring the cash to Margaret's office. There are hotel receipts. He shows me printouts from the box. Hilton, Marriott, Holiday Inn, dates going back to 2003, recent ones too, 2019, 2021, 2023, last month. The accountant asked if I wanted to know what the money was for. I said yes. He said, there are hotel receipts dating back to 2003, recent ones. Not one affair, not 5 men, 28 years of choosing deception. The divorce petition arrives at the house Thursday afternoon. Process server, professional, hands Rebecca the envelope and asks her to sign. She signs, doesn't look at me. I'm in the kitchen when she opens it. 87 pages. Margaret was thorough. Details of the affairs, the paternity fraud, the hidden money, the ongoing deception. Everything. You're really doing this. Rebecca's voice is small, broken. I'm really doing this. We could go to counseling. Work through 28 years of lies. Through you stealing our money for hotel rooms. Through you letting me raise another man's child while you laughed behind my back. I never laughed, she says. The front door opens. Emma. She still has her key. She walks in and stops when she sees us. Sees her mother holding the divorce papers. Sees the safety deposit box, cash on the counter. What's going on? Emma asks. Your father is destroying our family, Rebecca says, high-pitched, desperate. He's throwing away 28 years because of a mistake I made before we were even married. Stop. Emma's voice cuts like a blade. Just stop. She turns to her mother. Emma's been crying. I can see it in her swollen eyes, her red nose. You knew, Emma says. Dad told me you tested me before I was born. You knew he might not be my dad, and you let him believe it anyway. I was protecting you, Rebecca says. Protecting our family. No. Emma's voice is steady now, clear. You destroyed the family. You did that before I was born. Emma sets her apartment key on the counter. I need to stay somewhere else for a while. Can I stay with you, Dad? I can't speak. My throat is closed. I just nod. Rebecca starts crying. Emma, please, I'm your mother. You're the person who made my whole life a lie. Emma picks up her key again, slides it into her pocket, looks at me. Let's go. We leave together. her mother crying in the kitchen, the divorce papers on the table, the safety deposit box cash still sitting on the counter like evidence at a crime scene. In the car, Emma says, "I don't know who I'm supposed to be mad at." "You can be mad at both of us," I say, "but I only ever lied about one thing, pretending I was okay when I found out. Everything else was true." "The drawing I made," Emma says, "in first grade. Do you still have it?" "It's in my briefcase, always." She cries then. Quiet sobs. I pull over, hold her like I did when she was 6 and scraped her knee, when she was 12 and her first boyfriend broke her heart, when she was 18 and scared to leave for college. Biology doesn't make you a father. This does. Staying when it hurts, loving when it's hard, choosing them every single day, even when the DNA says you don't have to. "You're my dad," Emma says into my shoulder. "You're still my dad." "Always," I tell her, "always." The deposition room smells like stale coffee and carpet cleaner. Richmond County Courthouse, 3rd floor. Rebecca sits across from me, her attorney beside her, some guy in a cheap suit who keeps checking his phone. Margaret Walsh is to my right, crisp and ready. Court reporter at the head of the table, fingers poised over her stenotype. Video camera on a tripod in the corner, red light blinking. Everything Rebecca says today is under oath. Everything goes on the record. Margaret slides a document across the table. Timeline exhibit. Left column, family milestones. Right column, affair dates. They line up like a car crash. "Mrs. Walsh," Margaret begins. She never uses Rebecca's first name in depositions. "Can you confirm these dates are accurate?" Rebecca's attorney leans in, whispers something. She nods. "Yes," Rebecca says to the camera. "September 1995. You engaged in sexual relations with a man named Mark Richardson. True?" "Yes." "You were engaged to be married to my client at that time. True?" Pause. "Yes." October 1995. Sexual relations with Derek Morrison. True? "Yes." Margaret goes through all 5. Mark, Derek, Tom, Brian, Kyle. Rebecca confirms each one. Her voice gets smaller with every admission. The court reporter's fingers fly across the keys, recording every word. Margaret pulls out the Polaroids, sealed in plastic evidence bags now. Official. "Can you identify these photographs?" Rebecca won't look at them. "They're from that time period. They're photographs of the men you had affairs with, including dates written in your handwriting on the back, correct?" "Correct." "And this..." Margaret produces the 1996 DNA test. "This is a paternity test you ordered in March 1996 while pregnant with Emma, correct?" "Yes." "The results showed a 0.0% probability that my client was Emma's biological father, correct?" Rebecca's attorney objects. "Relevance. It's relevant to fraud claims," Margaret says smoothly, "and to equitable distribution of marital assets my client paid for a child he was led to believe was his biological daughter." The attorney backs down. Rebecca answers, "Correct." "And you never told him? Not in 1996, not in 1997 when you married, not in the 27 years following. True?" "True." Margaret lets that sit. The camera records Rebecca's face. The court reporter types the silence, probably notes pause or no response for 5 seconds. "Why didn't you tell him?" Margaret asks. "It would have hurt him." Margaret's eyebrow raises. I've seen her practice this look, devastating in its simplicity. "More than finding out 3 decades later?" Margaret asks. "After raising a child he believed was his? After paying for her food, clothes, education, medical care? After building his entire life around a lie you told?" Rebecca has no answer. The deposition continues. Margaret asks about the safety deposit box, the $47,000, the hotel receipts. The receipt from September 2023, the Marriott downtown. Who were you with? Rebecca's attorney objects again. My client's activities post-separation. This receipt is dated 8 months before separation. Margaret corrects. While she was still living with my client, using marital funds for extramarital affairs. Who were you with? Rebecca looks at the table. A friend. Male or female friend? Male. Sexual relationship? Long pause. Yes. So the affairs never stopped. They continued throughout your marriage for 28 years. True? I don't know if I'd call them affairs. What would you call them? Margaret's voice is surgical, precise. Sexual relationships with men other than your husband, conducted in secret, paid for with marital funds. What term would you prefer? Rebecca starts crying. Her attorney asks for a break. Margaret denies it. Answer the question, Mrs. Walsh. Yes, Rebecca whispers. They continued. Margaret gathers her papers, looks directly at the camera. No further questions. I watch Rebecca leave the deposition room. Her attorney has his hand on her elbow, guiding her like she might collapse. Maybe she will. I don't feel the satisfaction I expected, just emptiness, like winning a game nobody should have to play. Outside, Margaret squeezes my shoulder. That was brutal, but necessary. The judge will see who she really is. I nod, wonder if the judge will also see who I've become. A man who records his wife's confessions, who contacts her former lovers, who uses his daughter as leverage in a legal war. How do you destroy someone who destroyed you without becoming the monster? I still don't know the answer. Emma calls me 3 weeks later. I'm in my new apartment, 1-bedroom, north side of town, furniture from IKEA that I assembled wrong twice. She wants to meet for lunch. She brings a folder, thick, official looking. I did one of those DNA tests, she says. Ancestry.com, I needed to know. I set down my sandwich. You don't have to tell me. Yes, I do. She opens the folder. Printouts, genetic charts, percentages. I matched with someone, 47% shared DNA, parent-child relationship. Her finger points to a name. Kyle M. Richmond, Virginia, age 54, one of the 5. He's my biological father, Emma says. Kyle. I remember his voice on the phone. I always wondered. Counted the months, never had the balls to ask. How do you feel? I ask, weird, curious, angry. She flips through pages. He sent me a message through the site, said he'd be willing to meet. No expectations, just truth. Do you want to? I don't know. Emma looks at me. I need my medical history, family history. The genetic counselor said I should know if there's cancer, heart disease, anything that might. Her voice catches. I need to know what I'm passing on to my kids someday. She pulls out another paper, medical form. The family history section is blank except for question marks in every box. Mother's side, unknown. Father's side, question mark. I'm not trying to replace you, Emma says quickly. You're my dad. You raised me, but he's... Biology, I finish. I know. We sit in silence, her sandwich untouched, mine cold. Will you come with me? Emma asks. When I meet him. I don't want to do it alone. Everything in me wants to say no, wants to protect myself from watching my daughter meet the man whose DNA she shares, the man who gets to be her father without earning it. But that's not what dads do. Dads show up, even when it hurts. Yes, I say. I'll come. Emma reaches across the table, takes my hand. You're my dad. He's just biology. I hold her hand. Think about the purple crayon drawing, about 27 years of bedtime stories and school projects, and teaching her to parallel park, about every moment that biology had nothing to do with. Always, I say. I'm always your dad. Here's the question I couldn't answer at the beginning. Is revenge making them face consequences, or is it just making yourself watch them refuse to feel guilt? 2-choice poll. A. Consequences are the point. Or B. Your peace matters more. Comment A or B, because I'm still figuring out which one I believe. The settlement hearing is 4 months after the deposition. Same courthouse, different room, bigger. Judge Bryant presides, 60-something, gray hair, reading glasses, reputation for no-nonsense rulings. Rebecca and her attorney on one side, Margaret and me on the other. The gallery has a few observers, law students maybe, people who come to watch other people's lives fall apart. Judge Bryant reviews the file. It's thick. Deposition transcripts, financial records, DNA tests, hotel receipts, the forensic accountant's report showing 28 years of hidden cash withdrawals. This is a contested divorce with claims of fraud, Judge Bryant says. Mrs. Walsh, your client is seeking spousal support and a 50-50 division of marital assets. Mr. Walsh is contesting both based on financial misconduct and paternity fraud. I've reviewed the evidence. He looks at Rebecca. Mrs. Walsh, did you or did you not engage in multiple extramarital affairs beginning before your marriage and continuing throughout? Her attorney stands. Your Honor, Virginia is a no-fault state. I'm aware of Virginia Law Council. Answer the question. Rebecca stands. Yes, Your Honor. Did you or did you not hide approximately $47,000 in marital funds in a safety deposit box? Yes. Did you or did you not know that Emma Walsh was not your husband's biological child prior to marriage? Pause. Yes. Judge Bryant removes his glasses. Infidelity may not impact property division in Virginia, Mrs. Walsh, but fraud does. Financial fraud, paternity fraud, 28 years of systematic deception. He looks at the papers again. Mr. Walsh paid for child support, medical expenses, education, and living expenses for a child he was led to believe was his biological daughter. That constitutes fraud. Mrs. Walsh concealed and misappropriated marital funds for extramarital affairs. That constitutes financial misconduct. Rebecca's attorney tries to object. Judge Bryant silences him with a look. Marital assets will be divided 70-30 in favor of Mr. Walsh. Mrs. Walsh will receive no spousal support. She has a college degree and is capable of employment. Furthermore, she is ordered to repay Mr. Walsh the $47,000 found in the safety deposit box within 60 days. The gavel comes down. Rebecca's attorney leans over, whispers something. She's crying again. I watch from across the room, feel nothing, no victory, no satisfaction, just exhaustion. Margaret gathers her papers. We won. Yeah, I say, we won. Outside the courthouse, Rebecca's attorney catches me. She wants to talk to you. No, just 5 minutes, please. Against my better judgment, I wait. Rebecca comes out, mascara streaked. Looks 10 years older than the day I found the shoebox. I'm sorry, she says. Okay, that's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say, Rebecca? That I forgive you, that 28 years of lies don't matter because you're sorry now? I want you to understand. I understand perfectly. You chose yourself every single day. Chose the excitement of affairs over the man who loved you. Chose lies over truth. Chose money over honesty. I turn to leave. The only thing I don't understand is how you lived with yourself. I lived with it because I loved you, she says. I stop, turn back. No, you loved the life I gave you, the stability, the father for your daughter, the house and the safety, and the man who was too stupid to question. I shake my head. That's not love, that's convenience. I walk away. She doesn't follow. Margaret meets me at my car. How do you feel? Empty, I say, like I won a war nobody should have fought. You protected yourself, that's not wrong. It doesn't feel right either. She hands me the final documents. The judge's ruling stands. You have 70% of assets, the house if you want it, and no support obligations. You're free. But free. The word sounds hollow. 6 months later, Emma graduates from her master's program, education administration. I'm in the audience, 7th row. Kyle is in the 12th row. We arrived separately, nodded when we saw each other. That's our relationship now. Distant, respectful. Two men who love the same woman for different reasons. Emma invited us both. Said she wanted all her family there, including Kyle's wife. Turns out he remarried in 2005, has 2 teenagers. Emma has half-siblings now, a whole new family tree she's still mapping. Rebecca isn't here. Emma didn't invite her. They talk on the phone sometimes, monthly maybe, but it's not the same. Emma says she's working on forgiveness. Says her therapist told her she doesn't owe it to anyone, but she wants it for herself. I'm working on it too. Not forgiveness for Rebecca. Forgiveness for myself, for the man I became during the divorce. The man who recorded conversations and contacted old lovers and weaponized his daughter's DNA test. After the ceremony, we take photos. Emma in her cap and gown, me on one side, her mother, Kyle's wife, Jennifer, on the other. Kyle hovers at the edge. Emma waves him in. He stands next to Jennifer. They look like a blended family. Like this is normal. Maybe it is now. Emma hugs me. Thanks for coming, Dad. Wouldn't miss it. Kyle shakes my hand. She's amazing. You did a good job. I nod. Wonder if I should thank him for the DNA. Decide against it. Some things don't need to be said. My apartment is different now. I bought real furniture, painted the walls, put up photos, Emma's graduation, her first day of teaching, the two of us at her college commencement 4 years ago, and on the wall next to the window, one frame, purple crayon, pink hearts around the border. BESTDADEVR. The ass still backwards after 27 years. I found something else in the shoebox last month. Beneath the Polaroids, beneath the DNA test at the very bottom, a piece of paper I'd missed during my first search. Folded small, hospital notepaper, my handwriting, ballpoint pen, ink faded but legible. November 3rd, 1996, 3:47 a.m. First time I held Emma, made a promise to be enough. I don't remember writing it, but there it is. Proof that I loved her before I knew to question. Proof that I chose her first. Rebecca kept it with the photos of her lovers, kept it with the evidence of her betrayal. I don't know why. Maybe guilt, maybe sentimentality. Maybe she needed to remember that someone loved purely while she loved conditionally. Emma comes over for dinner once a week. Tonight is Thursday, spaghetti night. She brings garlic bread from the Italian place she likes. Kyle invited us to Thanksgiving, she says, twirling pasta on her fork. Him and Jennifer and their kids. He wants us to meet the whole family. Do you want to go? I don't know. It feels weird, but also nice, having more family. She looks at me. Would you come? I know it's asking a lot. I'll come. Really? Emma. I set down my fork. You're my daughter. Where you go, I go. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's hard. She gets up, hugs me from behind. You're the best dad. Not according to biology. Biology is just cells and chromosomes, she says. You're my dad because you chose to be. Every single day, even when you found out you didn't have to be. I think about the drawing on the wall, about the note from 1996, about 28 years of choosing her even when Rebecca was choosing lies. Did you ever regret it? Emma asks, sitting back down. Marrying Mom, raising me. I look at the purple crayon drawing across the room, at the backwards E that makes it perfect. I regret the lies, I say. I don't regret you. That's the difference between you and her. Emma taught me something I didn't know I needed to learn, that found family isn't about who gave you DNA. It's about who stayed when they didn't have to. If someone chose to be your parent, sibling, or family when biology said they didn't need to, share their story below. Let's honor the people who stay. Late at night, when the apartment is quiet, I think about Rebecca. Wonder if she thinks about me. if she regrets the choices that led us here, if she understands what she destroyed. Then I look at the drawing on my wall, at Emma's crooked letters and backwards E, at the proof that I was someone's best dad before biology tried to tell us otherwise. We don't leave the people who chose us. We just stop pretending with the ones who didn't. The shoebox is gone. Burned it in the fireplace of the house before I moved out. Watched the Polaroids curl and blacken. Watched the names disappear. Watched 28 years of evidence turn to ash. But the frame stays. The purple crayon, the pink hearts, the backwards E that reminds me love isn't something you inherit. It's something you build, day by day, choice by choice, one crayon drawing at a time. Emma texts me before bed, just 3 words, love you, Dad. I text back, always, love you always. Biology tried to tell me Emma wasn't mine. The DNA said 0.0%. The test results said I was nobody's father. But the drawing on my wall knows better. The backwards E knows better. The 27 years of choosing her every single day knows better. I was her dad the moment I held her at 3:47 a.m. and promised to be enough. The DNA test came 3 decades too late to change that. Some promises don't have expiration dates. Some families don't need biology to be real. I turn off the lights. The frame catches the streetlight from outside. Purple crayon glowing in the dark. Best dad ever. Still true. Still real. Still mine. The shoebox is gone. The frame stays. If this story reminded you why loyalty and truth matter more than keeping secrets, hit subscribe. More stories about the families we choose coming next week. Thanks for listening.